The work of Satan and his devils to make the people of God deviate from the way of God. And it's working.
Yes, sir.
I mean, brothers and sisters, you look, they done made, and I'm just talking about in my little short span of lifetime, they done made numbers legal. I mean, look, man, when I was 13, 14, 15 years old, my mother, boy, go down over there and play this bolita for me.
That's right. Water.
Is that right?
That's right.
Put this in the Trotter handle.
That's right.
Put this in the Bklyn handle.
Yeah, there you go.
Y'all act like y'all don't know. They coming up out of the same hell I was in. I used to have so many yellow slips on me, I thought I was a number runner. After a while, I started playing single action. Is that right? Trotter handle. Bklyn handle. Is that right? But then this enemy realized, I want to get some of that money. But he was the one that started it.
That's right. That's right.
But now that he see that it's still going on, it's like, it's not only the Italians running it no more than the Cubans started running it, the Dominicans was running it, and the blacks was running it. They're like, look, I'm getting some of that money. How many number spots got busted back in the day? Closed down for a week and then they open back up. It's over here now. Is that right? Same thing with the weed spot.
That's right.
Am I saying something wrong?
No, sir.
But what does the enemy do? If I can't beat him, join him. He makes it legal.
That's right. Every time.
But God is against gambling.
That's right.
He makes it legal.
That's right.
During Prohibition, liquor was illegal.
That's right.
John Kennedy's father made plenty of money bootlegging liquor and put his children in politics.
Yeah.
So all y'all that's against Jay-Z and all that because he done sold drugs and now he's trying to do the right thing, y'all's crazy as hell, man. This white man that did that, that's how he founded himself in this country. Well, all I'm doing is saying this to say is that the enemy of God,
Come on. Enemy of God. Come on.
what he does is he takes what is illegal in God's eye and he makes it fair seeming by making it a law.
That's right. That's what he does.
All of the government's laws are not right by God. And this is how we can be deceived. That because the government says it's all right
Check that out.
to smoke weed, because the government says it's all right to play numbers, because the government says it's all right to have co-ed bathrooms, because the government says it's all right for our children to start learning how to accept John got two mommies, Mike got two daddies. Because the government says, well, what the hell has God said? Because look, man, that same government is the ones that put our people in this condition. I can't trust everything the government says.
Come on now.
I'm coming up in school, and everything's about Dick and Jane and Tom. C-spot run. Look at Dick run. Look at Jane. I ain't seeing no black people in none of those stories. The dog ain't even black. I don't know at that time all that's being put in me is worship of white people. I'm being taught about Abraham Lincoln, George Washington. Is that right? Christopher Columbus, Alexander the so-called great. I'm being taught geography. You know, I'm being taught about science, but everybody I see at the top of it is white. I don't see none of our people. And then when they teach us about our people, it's in such a degrading way over the majestic things that they have done that it's just still, it's like you, when you look in the mirror, you're not, so I look in the mirror and who's the hero? Willie Mays, Hank Damn Aaron, Jim Brown, basketball players, football players, but what about science? What about mathematics? Brothers and sisters, I know you've heard this before, but what does that do to our mind? What does that do to being goal-oriented?
Come on, brother. That's right.
So then, I mean, look, the governing powers are the ones that justify this.
Yes, sir.
And then we just start going along to get along because there are people that have been put in politics that we vote into office, but before they get voted in, we don't know behind closed doors they're being accepted by those who run politics and being told that we'll let you get in the office if you do this, this, and this. And we'll make sure you get 2 terms in office if you do this, this, and this. And what those weak-kneed, handkerchief, boot-licking Negroes don't know is that the same ones you making a deal with are the sons and daughters that made treaties with our Native American brothers and sisters. The devil is a liar. He's going to tell you, I'm going to give you what you want. And then pull it back after he get out of you what he get out of you. And so these handkerchief head Negroes that grew up among us, that was with us in the struggle until they got that paycheck and got into those positions, come talking to us with their tongue in their cheek. You know it's real hard to talk with your tongue in your cheek. And so when you hear them talking with their tongue in their cheek, you trying to figure out what the hell is she saying? It all sounds like a different language. And the reason why it sounds different is because it's not them talking. The one that's pulling the strings is a ventriloquist. You looking at a puppet. Someone else is talking through that Negro. So they're being used to put us to sleep.
That's right.
They're being used to keep us calm. And if what they say don't keep us calm enough, they bring up one of these handkerchief head Negro preachers. And they come in the name of a false God and say, now, children's. Let's pray for our politician. I ain't praying for no doggone politician. I want to pray to God to get rid of my damn enemy that's stopping me, my children, my children's children from getting the progress that we need. Why am I saying? Because brothers and sisters, for the past 60 years since we've been given, now listen to the language, given the right to vote.
Given the right to vote.
What benefit have we got? Why is it that for everything, I look, man, our ancestors were the first ones here after the Native Americans.
Right.
And the Native Americans is part of our family.
That's right.
We've been here for 462 years. They keep running this lie that the first slaves was brought over here in 1619. In their own congressional records, it says 1555. Why are they hiding 64 years of history of our ancestry? Because they did something to us in that 64-year period. 462 years, 60 years of being able to vote. Why is it that if you go back in history, for the whole 462 years, everything that we benefit from, we had to fight for? Why the hell we gotta fight for everything? We had to fight to read. We had to fight to worship God. We had to fight to even be able to go to the toilet. We had to fight to eat at the same counter. We had to fight to be in school with them. Come on, man. But yet we don't want to fight for our freedom? Really? Fought, bled, and died for everything else. But we don't want to fight for our freedom. We don't want to fight to have our own independent schools. We don't want to fight to be able to worship God the way we want to worship God. We don't want to fight to be able to clean up our own community and stop police from being in our community. We don't want to fight to get our education right. We don't want to fight to work out the family disagreements among each other, among ourselves. But these people still pushing us around like we're dust.
That's right.
It's like they just come to the black community and spray lemon pledge. And then wipe us away. You know, lemon pledge is what my mom used to use when she was, I'm just in case somebody didn't know. Okay, alright. You know, alright, I'm just, you know, some people don't clean. I'm just, you know, I'm just saying. Lemon pledge, I never heard of lemon pledge.
What's that?
But when you got a black woman that's really making a home into a home,
That's right.
then you're gonna smell lemon pledge, you're gonna smell some pneumonia, you're gonna smell some bleach, you're gonna smell some pine sol. It's like you wake up in the morning, cleanliness is godliness. You know there's a black woman on deck. I ain't talking about a Negro woman, I'm talking about a black woman. You know what I'm saying? All praises are due to Allah. That's what Elijah Muhammad is producing, black women. MGT, GCC. Is that right? Come on now. Luther may have said it, but he got it from God. A chair is still a chair. And a house is not a house if there's no one sitting there. Is that right? This enemy has affected everything. So, brothers and sisters, what we are saying all that for is to give reference and bear witness to the fact that God is among us. Jesus is present, physically alive. We can show him to you. We can bear witness to his word. We can bring him up on the screen. We can bring up his voice. But it's a matter of what you accept and what I accept. But I'm saying that to say, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's lecture last Sunday is about the subject matter of separation. Separation or death. This is not Minister Farrakhan's mantra in and of himself. This is God's solution to the condition between black and white in America. All right, let's go to it for a minute. Look, brothers and sisters, when you think about, and remember, this is rooted in God. So it's rooted in religion, but not religion as you know it.
Come on now.
Because religion as we have known it has been really ruled by Satan.
That's right.
And for those of you that may have just got here a little while ago, we don't bear witness to Christianity in the way that it's been given to us by white people.
That's right. That's right.
Judaism in the way that it's been given to us by white people.
That's right.
Or Islam in the way it's been given to us by white Arabs. I just want to be clear. You're going to walk out of here and say, that brother got an attitude with everybody. You damn right. I got an attitude with Satan. And Satan has been ruling over everything. And once I was blind, but now I see, and I'm thankful to Allah that he has opened my eyes through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Because before I didn't know this.
That's right, brother.
So I want to tell it from the mountaintop. Brothers and sisters, we have to know the truth. As Jesus said in the scripture, know the truth and the truth shall make you free. What you say? Know the truth and the truth shall make you free. Now in the book of John, when Jesus made that statement, the Jews of his day came right to him. Okay, what is this you talking about?
That's right, brother.
You say know the truth and the truth will make us free. We've never been in bondage to any man, so why should we have to get free?
They said, come on, man, teach the truth. That's what they said.
Now, here's a people who are Jews, who are descendants of those, supposedly, that were with Moses. Supposedly. And they're saying we've never been in bondage. But hold on, I thought the The people with Moses were the seed of Abraham. That God say would be in a strange land among a strange people for 400 years, despised and rejected. How is it in the New Testament you get with Jesus and say you never been in bondage? Because those are not the chosen people of God. And then Jesus says to them, they tell him, well, we are, God is our Father. And Jesus said, wait, if God was your Father, you would love me. I proceeded forth from God. He said, you know, Abraham, we are children of Abraham. If you was from Abraham, you would do the works of Abraham. That's right. Now they battling. This is verbal judo now. They going back and forth with words. They start ranking on him about his mother. Oh yeah. What they say to him, like, we're not born of fornication. See now, if Jesus is the Jesus that we know, hair like lamb's wool, feet like brass from a burner's oven, and somebody saying we're not born of fornication, oh, so you talking about my mother now? So you saying, you trying to say, I don't know who my daddy is? You trying to say that my mom was out there just hoeing around? Oh, really? Really? All right, Peter. No. Get off him, Peter. Get off him, John. I got this. But see, when you and I are reading that scripture, we're not catching that. These Jews are ranking on his mom. Fornication is meaning, look, yeah, something like Trump. Fornication is when you're having relationships outside of marriage. So you trying to tell me my mom's fornicated? And even if she did, who are you to be talking? You talking about my mama? I thought this was about God. Now you talking about my mama? So Jesus eventually, this is all in the book of John chapter 8. Jesus eventually just says, I know who you are. You are of your father, the devil. He was a liar in the beginning and abode not in the truth, and the lust of your father you shall do. So now, if you're reading that and you're realizing we are being taught in Christianity that Jesus was a Jew.
That's what they said, brother.
And he was from the Jews and he was sent to save the Jews. Jesus was no Jew. First of all, what is a Jew? What is that? I'm not trying to put them down. But to have a covenant relationship with God is meaning that God has given you a criteria of knowledge, rules, and regulations from himself, and you're agreeing to live by that, and that's a covenant relationship. And if you break the covenant, it's like breaking your marriage tie. We gotta get divorced. God chooses, but he can choose again. So anybody that's in a covenant relationship with God who accepts God's way, then you are in that category of what they may call Jew. But Jew ain't no nationality.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
And Jew doesn't mean because you are of Israel. We already broke down what Israel represents. Israel is not a state, it's not a nation. Israel is the name of the man in the Bible that wrestled with the angel all night long. His name was Jacob, and he received the attribute of Israel. And all those that come up under Israel are coming up under the mind of Jacob, who is Israel. And that Israel in the 32nd chapter of Genesis starts dealing with the genes of man, and these men are metaphorically talked about as cattle. The speckled cattle, the black cattle, and the brown cattle. And Jacob is dealing with the genes because this is Yaakov in the making of a devil. Oh, let's go right there for a minute. We are taught in our supreme wisdom lesson Lessons by Master Fard Muhammad to his servant, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, for the lost foundation of Islam in North America. Islam is mathematics, mathematics is Islam, and it can be proven at no limit of time. Dealing with the geometric cycle of congruency. Today is the 22nd lesson in Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2. The question is asked, how old was the founder? What founder is God talking about? Who, the founder of Unlike Attract and Like Repels. The founder of Unlike Attract and Like Repels was an original man who was a scientist by the name of Yaqub. In English, it would be Jacob. Born 20 miles from the holy city Mecca in the year 8400. Here we go. See, in the teachings that we're getting from God through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he gives us the history of the last 25,000 years. The cycle of time in which we're in the 16,000th year of that 25,000 year cycle. According to the Gregorian calendar, we're in the beginning of the 7,000th year, which would be the 7th day according to the Seventh-day Adventists. We're the advent of God. Is to manifest himself in the midst of the people. And we couldn't talk the way we are talking right now if God didn't already come. So now, this founder of Unlike Attract and Like Repels was an angel that was in the midst of God. Angels are people, brother. It's not no little white person with wings. It's not no baby with wings. These are people who are obedient to God, obedient to God's messengers. Do they make mistakes? Yes, but not when it comes to obedience to God.
Very good.
So the Bible says, be careful of the company you entertain. You may be entertaining angels unaware. It's hard for you and I to be able to believe in angels if we hate ourselves. But it's not hard to believe in them if we've been deceived.
That's right.
Where our knowledge has been manipulated because of our lack of knowledge. That you would think, you know, just you know, the angels will come after we die and just take us away. Really? Show me when that happened. Just show me. Well, I saw it on TV. No, show me when that happened. So in this 22nd degree, it says, how old was the founder? It says, when Yaqub was 6 years old, while playing with 2 pieces of steel, he discovered one piece had magnetic in it and the other piece did not. Then he learned that the piece with magnetic attracted the piece that did not have magnetic in it. Then he told his people that when he was old enough, he would make a nation that would be unlike, and he would teach them trigonometry, and they would rule for 6,000 years. This is quoted in the Bible and the Holy Quran. In the Holy Quran, it's Iblis doing it. In the Bible, it's Jacob, as well as that first Adam who rebelled. Now, just to get into a little bit of the science of what we're being taught in our lessons, is that one from among the family of God discovered the hidden wisdom about the original man that God had created. And that hidden wisdom was, to make it as simple as I can, was this: that God raised his people up with righteousness. All that he taught them was righteousness. But he knows that there is, for every positive reaction, there is a negative counteraction. So if there's positive, there's negative. There are positive and negative charges that go off in the atmosphere that brings lightning and thunder. There's positive and negative in all of us. The positive part of a piece